Okay, the end is this game that really wants the player to think about life and death, and it's aimed at high school students. Basically, you start out, you create your avatar, so there I am, and you encounter these monster godlike beings who hold these death objects that you're going to try and win through them by playing through three different stages. As you can see, the subsets are the body world, mind world, and spirit world, and just jump right in here. Okay, so in each subworld, you try to, in order to progress, you need to go through the different doors and win the object from that door. So here we go. Okay, so as you can see, we found our way onto this platform-like area. You can run back and forth, jump. You have this light power that you can use that helps you get through each stage. And then if you look in the left-hand corner, you see this clock ticking down as well as the now 1 out of 24. Those are the two challenges at each stage, the time challenge and collecting every star before you get to the end of the level challenge. Now, something that Bogus talks about in his book, he calls it procedural literacy. And when he talks about that, he's saying that he thinks this procedural literacy should go beyond just creating a representation of an abstract idea and really allow the player to interact with and essentially question and critique this abstract process and idea. And I think the end does this through these two different challenges because as I was playing, I kept collecting all of the stars. And it wasn't until I kind of stepped back and asked myself, why am I doing this? Because there really is no benefit to actually getting all of the stars. You can continue playing without beating the time challenge or getting all the stars, and there's no even kind of crucial benefit to collecting all of them. You don't really get anything special, so it made me step back and think, well, is it kind of because of society's values, this value that's placed on some kind of form of achievement in order to persuade us to continue doing something. And then the same could be said of the time challenge. You know, society today, it's kind of like the faster you do something, the more you can get done in a day, and the better that is. Okay, so eventually in the level you will uh, get to grab the key, which will allow you to open the door, and at each spot they always introduce this quote that's going to have to do with the question you're going to answer later. And it's pretty interesting. You can think about the quote more. It tells you who the quote's by so you can look them up later, and it just kind of gets you into that process of introspection just kind of right off the bat here. Okay, so now we've gotten to the point where we've reached the end of the level and you come to this question, which you just basically answer based on your own ideology. And ideology is something that Bogus talks about a little bit in his book as well. An example he gives is the game America's Army, in which the procedural rhetoric of that game allows the player to really experience and understand the core ideology of our armed forces. Unlike America's Army, however, the end doesn't try to argue one way or another. There's nothing persuading the player to answer yes or no to this question. It's not like other games such as Knights of the Old Republic. You're not going to get light or dark points based on this, and it's not going to affect the gameplay in the future. So you just really have to look at this question. Is it important to commemorate the dead? And really think carefully about the question and then enter a door. So it really allows you to think about why you are answering one way or another, especially if you're not really sure. So you just have to pick which way you're leaning. And it causes you to analyze that reason, which is the point of the game. So then you just pick your door and head on in. And then here you go, we're going to reach the boss stage. Okay, so after you've beaten the boss and you've won the death object, you come to this screen. You just click finished, and this is what we've won. So here it tells you can learn more or continue playing, and I've always chosen the learn more, and it basically gives you a description of this object, lets you read about that. You can go to related issues, And it just kind of brings up different ideas of life and death again and how your beliefs relate to these. And because this game is so personal, you're not playing for anyone else or anything else except to learn more about yourself. It does encourage you to read these things. And we can go down, and what's neat is you can look at the global answers and you can see basically what the popular answer is and then see if your answer aligned with how society as a whole kind of answers and if you lie in or outside of that belief and thinking. And I'll try to wrap this up here really fast, but then one last thing is this death dial, which is a major part of the game and what your achievement comes down to. So as you can see, um, it's kind of this map, and you can basically read about where your thought space is. You can click that and read more. It's also got all these different historical figures on here, so you can see who you're closest to and read up about those people as well and see how your personality or beliefs align with theirs, which is pretty interesting. And another cool thing is you can see this Facebook friends switch. So you can actually compare where you lie on this mind map with your friends, and that also allows you to analyze if your ideology kind of has how much has it been affected by your friends or your family beliefs and that kind of stuff, and again allows for more introspection. So the death dial, I think, is just this very clever uh, strategy that allows the player to visualize and really interact with their beliefs and ideology and how that affects their own personality. And as you can see, this whole kind of style of the game really appeals to the audience. It's easy to interact with and play with, and ultimately, I think, very effective.